Hey, happy Thursday. It's good to see you. We're in the great discourse. Jesus in the upper room with his disciple. Yesterday, Judas left and he went into the night. Jesus is the light. He fully turned away from the light, and so he went into the night. We pick up with chapter 13, verse 31. Now, this is a memorable piece. Now, so Jesus leads off with this piece, and then he's going to go and give examples of how he continues to parables, really, or like sort of stories, or for how we stay in relationship with God. But first, he says this. When Judas had gone out, Jesus said to the rest that are remaining in the room, "Now the Son of Man has been glorified, and God has been glorified in him." Right? So we have that multiple glorification. Jesus glorifies God. By doing what he does, he reveals God's worth and value. And God, by doing what he does in the person of Jesus Christ, reveals Jesus' worth and value. If God has been glorified in Jesus, God will glorify Jesus in himself and will glorify him at once. Right? So this whole mutuality of the nature of the Trinity. Little children, I am with you only a little longer. You will look for me, and as I said to the Jews, I now say to you, where I'm going, you cannot come. There's a lot of reasons for that. But first and foremost is Jesus is God. Secondly, Jesus is going to go to hell. He's going to go to purgatory. He's going to go to outer reaches of all creation, and his light is going to shine everywhere. The only place that there will be darkness in all of creation is the places where free beings have the capacity to close in upon their own darkness, like Judas. And then he says this, I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I love you, you should love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. That's really all. We could shut the book right now. So how do we have love for each other? Well, I think first and foremost, it requires understanding that we tap into the agape love of God. Now, there's a lot of different loves. There's storge, agape, eros, philia, 4 types of love. Storge is kind of that love that we have for that thing we care for, sort of like the love we have for our dog, or the way our dog loves us, maybe. Eros is that physical attraction we have for somebody that crosses our paths, maybe once in a lifetime, maybe more. There is philia, which is that brotherly love, maybe that you share with a sibling or a good mate, somebody you've grown up with, you just have a deep connection to. And then there's agape, and agape is that divine, eternal love that God has for us, that God makes by the very nature of God's self, sort of the overflow of God's love from the nature of the Trinity comes into our lives, and we grab onto it. And when Jesus says you should love one another, it begins with our capacity to understand the love of God, right? Because that is the thing that gives us the capacity to be fearless and to share beyond what we may consider our capacity in a way that transforms the world. Just as I have loved you, so you love one another. By this, you will, everyone will know you're my disciples. People come to Jesus because they see how we love one another. Christianity spread not because we convinced people to believe something, but we showed them what it means to love. Takes us back to the beginning of the discourse when Jesus washes the feet of his disciples, right? When he's eating with them, table fellowship, service and table fellowship, celebration, those are 2 core ways in which we love one another. So I guess I want to ask you, when's the last time you participated in table fellowship? Whatever that looks like to you. And how did that table fellowship reflect something that you believe to be true about God? And if you haven't had any table fellowship recently, why don't you make it happen? I know, social distancing, I know it's complicated now. Maybe it happens over Zoom, I don't know, maybe it happens at a park. But whatever it is, Table fellowship is one way in which we love one another. I love you. I pray for you. Peace upon your souls.